Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, hey HJ, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the Doctor Who Christmas episode, The Church on Ruby Road. Now, I want to apologise because it is currently the 29th, I think, as I'm filming this, and this came out on the 25th. But I was planning to film this a couple of days afterwards, but Christmas is a busy time, and then I went into a flare-up a little bit. My stomach hasn't been right, I have stomach issues, and I just wasn't feeling up to it. But today I am going to be, like I said, sharing my thoughts on The Church on Ruby Road. I have my notepad. As I was watching it, I took some notes, and let's just dive right on in. If you want to hear my thoughts, please stick around. Remember to like, subscribe, check you're subscribed, and let's go. So this is, I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong. I'm just so scared and I feel awful. Is it Ncuti Gatwa? Ncuti Gatwa. It sounds weird when I say it. I apologise if this is wrong. This is his second episode as the Doctor, his first official episode as the main Doctor, and Millie Gibson playing Ruby Sunday, the new companion, and it's written by Russell T Davies. And surprisingly enough as well though, even though Russell wrote this, normally sometimes when he writes those Christmas episodes I cry. I didn't cry at this one. It wasn't as emotional for me this time around, which is odd for me because me and my sister had this tradition on Christmas of shooing everyone out of the living room for about 50 minutes so we could watch the Doctor Who episode, because we knew either one, the Doctor was going to leave and we would cry, or two, we were just going to cry anyway. But this episode did not make me cry, which I was slightly shocked at. Ruby is the new companion. For me, she sort of reminds me a little bit of Rose mixed with Clara. I think with Clara, it's just how she is. She knows who she is. She's sure of who she is. She doesn't need anyone to tell her that. And Rose, just the feistiness a little bit. Maybe the blonde hair helps as well. But she kind of reminds me of those two mixed. And the episode starts with her with Davina McCall. Davina does that show over here on the BBC, Find Your Families or Long Lost Families, like that. So that's essentially what Ruby is doing. As we found at the beginning, she was left on a church on Christmas Eve, and her mother left her there. We don't know who her mother is. There's a lot of speculation about who her mother could be. I've seen loads on Doctor Who fan pages. She has an adoptive mother called Carla. I want to say Clara, and it's not Clara, it's Carla. Adoptive mother called Carla, and she's like fostered over 33 kids, which unbelievable. And then of course they get the new baby, Lulubelle, on the same day, which is like, oh, that's a coincidence. In the episode, all these weird things start happening where the Doctor and Millie keep meeting, little weird coincidences. And can we talk about the fashion here? Like, when he sees her playing the piano, that hat with that suit. And then wearing a kilt, dancing in a club, like proper Scottishman. Come on, man. And then his outfit for the rest of the episode, whoa, like I can see that being a very, very popular Halloween costume next year. Watched the trailer for the next season, which is out in May. Exciting. And it looks like we're not going to get the same costume from him twice. And there was a lot of things about that online saying that he broke a tradition of, like, on the Christmas episode when a new Doctor comes in, they normally find their outfit and they stick with the one outfit, like David Tennant's did, Eccleston never changed. I don't think Capaldi did really. Matt Smith's Doctor did. When was it, like the second half of his second season, I believe, he switched to like a long green coat and things like that. It changed, but it wasn't too much of a drastic change that it almost felt similar to his old costume. But some people were happy that we weren't going to be getting the same outfit, because it would have been nice to see the Doctor change as well, because the companions have all these cute cosplay costumes that people love to find and wear to Comic Cons, and it's kind of a bit nice because obviously you get the same people wearing the same David Tennant suits. I know he switched suits, but it was still at one suit. You either had the brown suit or the blue suit, and you had all these different companion options, like especially with like Clara, she had loads of different outfits that you could do, and now people can go as Ncuti's Doctor, but in different outfits. It's like, oh, I'm the Doctor from this episode, and I'm the Doctor from that episode, and you can tell by the different outfits, which I think is really going to be really cool for fans. I like that a lot. So we go to this whole thing that Ruby's cursed because this weird coincidences keep happening. She keeps dropping stuff, and it turns out this is how the enemy, uses the coincidences and string of bad luck to feed themselves. The enemy in this episode are goblins. They're time riders, which the Doctor has to say because he's like, they are not time travelers, thank you. And they cause accidents, which stitches you into the day. So they can cause weird coincidences and accidents around you because that's what they feed on. So that's how they end up taking Lulubelle, because Lulubelle, coincidentally, was born the same day as Ruby, and all these weird coincidences keep happening to Ruby, so then that allows them to take the baby to feed it to their goblin king. They feed on coincidences, is what they feed off of. Speaking of the goblins, I know I'm shooting around this, but I know this is just a review. I don't have to go through the whole episode. But speaking of goblins, that song, what? Like, that should have been Christmas #1. Come on. And then when the Doctor and Millie joined it, when he started dancing, I dropped my pen and my notepad and just went, he can sing, so can she, he can dance, he can move. Like, where did they find him? Like, honestly, like, I'd never seen Shooty in Sex Education. That was the show that made him a bit bigger than he was, and then he's also in the Barbie movie. Sorry, my nose is a bit running. I've never seen Sex Education or the Barbie movie. I've never seen the Barbie movie because it's not my thing, and nor is Sex Education. Sex Education is not my type of show that I watch. I'm not big on huge comedy things, so I probably won't end up watching it. But I heard good things about him through my sister because she liked to watch it. But he can sing, he can dance, like, what? Like, honestly, I think after that episode was done, I was like humming it in my head. I haven't re-listened to it again, but I might have to because it was so good. And also now the Doctor can speak rope. He can speak baby, he can speak most languages in the universe, and now he can speak rope. Whoever knew rope had a language? Who knew? I'm gonna have to be nicer to ropes and apologise to them for tying them in knots. Does anyone else love Ruby's granny, Cherry Sunday? Like, when she was doing that little moment with Shooty's Doctor and they were like flirting, it's like, ooh, Shooty's Sunday, and she's like a nice treat. I was just like, oh my god, I love her so much. Bless her heart. And I found Shooty's Doctor, the 15th Doctor, like, it didn't feel... I think because he was in the last episode of the 60th anniversaries and they did the bi-generation, it didn't feel weird trying to get to know him because we got a little bit of a taste of him in that episode. But this was his first episode on his own. And I think you feel the pressure of that becoming this British icon. Well, so, like, Doctor Who's a British staple. The Doctor is a British icon. Everyone loves Doctor Who. Well, not everyone loves Doctor Who. Majority of people love Doctor Who. And stepping into shoes, especially, like, I'm not meaning to like make one Doctor better than the other, but David Tennant is one of the world's favourite Doctors, and he came back, and then having to take over and step into those shoes must have been a bit terrifying. But I don't think Russell had any doubt that Shooty could do that, else he wouldn't have cast him, and he wouldn't have got the part. But it didn't feel like weird. Like, does anyone get me? Like, after a Doctor regenerates, it normally all feels a bit off and up in the air, and you don't know if you like the Doctor or not. He just came shooting in and made it his own, complete like that, and it didn't feel like I was watching anyone different. It felt like I'd watched him obviously I'd watched him before, but I felt like I've met him before and gone on loads of adventures with him before, even though we had no idea what his Doctor was like. I love his personality. I wrote down a quote that he said somewhere that made me laugh when he was jumping on the roof and he was like, "You seen a ladder coming down? You thought, I'll give that a go, babe." So I was like, oh my god, that was brilliant. That was so funny. This episode was funny. He had so many good throwaway lines, so many funny moments between him and Ruby. Like, they acted like they were like best friends already. Like, when they were trying to hide the goblins and what was going on, then they were having that argument when Jade's mum was like, "What's going on? Why do we need a doctor?" And they were like that. It was like instant best friend material, like instant clickage. His Doctor is very cheeky, charming, obviously clever, serious, and fashionable. Like, the Doctor's got fashion now, really. And the emotional scene, I don't know why I didn't cry at that, because they were both crying, and it was like a horrible moment of the world completely changing without Ruby, and it's almost enough to make you think, what would the world be like if you weren't there? Like, because obviously the Doctor gave the goblins far too many coincidences, and the goblins went back to take Ruby as a baby, and she never existed. And then her mother turned out to be this awful woman who would only take kids in if she needed the money, and there were so many per kid. And she was just an awful woman, and the Doctor realising that and trying to tell her, like, you have a daughter, Ruby. You've adopted so many. She was like, "What? No, I wouldn't. I hate kids." And it's almost enough to make you think, like, what if anyone wasn't in the world, like, at all, like, ever? Like, what if you weren't in the world? And would people really change if these people weren't around? And are they that important? And of course, the Doctor said he's never met anyone who wasn't important before. I don't know why I didn't cry at that. I don't know why. Normally I do cry at a Russell Christmas special, but he didn't get me this year. Need to try harder. Maybe now I say that, maybe in the new season I'll cry. We'll see. The Doctor then had to go back in time to save Ruby as a baby to keep the goblins from taking her. And then he does see the mother walking away, but he doesn't say anything. Probably because time was already changed a little. Clive, you do not have an opinion on this. You slept through it. You were asleep. He never said anything to the mum, probably because time had already changed anyway. And if he told her to go back and get her, then you never would have met Ruby, and then the whole thing would have changed again. But who is Ruby's mum? Who is she? Everyone always has different theories. I would like to hear your theories in the comments. Who do you think Ruby Sunday's mother is? Do you think she's an alien? Do you think she's a human? Because of course, Davina called her and said they found no trace of her mum, no trace of her dad, there's no siblings, not even a DNA sample anywhere, which, if you live on Earth, is almost impossible. I'm sure we'll find out. Because with the companions, they've always got to have, not a gimmick, but they've always got to have something, don't they? Like, Amy was the girl who waited, Clara was the impossible girl, and Ruby is the girl who's left on a church. Those gloves, right? Like, I was just going to say, when he pulled the ship down, those gloves, can we get more technology like that, please? Like, what the hell? That was so cool. Like, he literally just pulled the whole thing down and it went right through the goblin kid. Ouch. Jeez. That had to hurt. Dinner on a stick. And that technology is insane. Like, I love it when they give the Doctor new gadgets. Like, well, we're going to have to talk about the sonic screwdriver because everyone's not pretty happy with the sonic screwdriver. Only because it doesn't look like a screwdriver, but a screwdriver can look as fat, thin, whatever shape it wants to. Screwdrivers might look like that in the future. We don't know. You need slightly bigger pockets. I want to see him use the jukebox. That's what I want. I want the TARDIS to play songs. That's what I'm waiting for, because it's his has a jukebox, and I'm excited. I think I saw a list. It said this is what's on it, and I can only remember, I think Britney Spears was on there. So I'm like, of course she is. You can't not have Britney Spears. I think it's Toxic. I think it said it was Toxic. And is it me? Like, that's what I said. I know he's got he split the TARDIS in two. He's got a TARDIS, and David Tennant's one still has his TARDIS. Is that TARDIS got an upgrade? Because it seems to be much better at getting time, dates, and stamps right. Because normally when the Doctor goes back and dropping people off and on, like, sometimes he gets a bit off skew by a year or two or 12 or something like that. This year, so TARDIS gotten slightly better at its landing points. Who the hell is Miss Flood? Who is she?
Is she? Who is she? Who is she?
She's just this awful neighbour, like, person you don't want to live next to unless you're Ruby. She loves Ruby. Like, unless you're nice to her. All of a sudden, and then at the end she was like, never seen a TARDIS before. Everyone is convinced, I've seen this everywhere, that she is the Rani, or she's Ruby's mum, or she's some other alien. And I honestly, it could be the Master, or did she pick up the Master? Is she the one that picked up the Master's gold tooth? Remember, you dropped it. Could she be the one that picked up the gold tooth? Rusty Davis has confirmed we will find out who she is, and it's not the last we've heard of her. So overall, I did like the episode. I think it was a very strong start for Ncuti and Millie. I think the next season, I can't wait. I watched the trailer. We've got like old Renaissance. We've got Jonathan Groff. We've got the Beatles. We've got like everything you could probably throw a stick at. I honestly cannot wait for the Beatles episode, just because like I love the Beatles and the fashion, and oh my god, it's very, I think this season they said it's shaping up to be very campy and very out there, and everyone will be represented, and I absolutely love that. I think this episode for me, just because I didn't cry, but I loved the whole idea of the goblins are the ones that create these coincidences and bad luck and stitch you into this moment, because that's what they need to feed on. So now every time you have a bad luck or weird coincidences, look out for goblins. They're out to get you. I love that sort of thing. Like, I love the Doctor. I love the new companion. The two mysteries they've given us. Who's Ruby's mum? Who's Mrs. Flood? Are they connected? Yeah, like, I think in this episode I would give it... I'm going to give it a strong 7.5 out of 10. Mainly because I did not cry. If I cried, it would be a whole different story. But I would give it a strong 7.58 out of 10 for this. Strong start. And I'm very much looking forward to the new episodes in May. It cannot come quick enough. So that's it for this video, guys. That was my thoughts on the church on Ruby Road. What did you guys think of the Christmas special? Let me know in the comments down below. It has been 6 years since we've had one, and it came back with a bang. I think this is going to be my last video 2023, judging by my scheduling and the next couple of days running up to New Year. I might be busy, but I will be coming back in the new year with a look back at this year and what I'm looking forward to in the year ahead. I want to say a massive thank you again to everyone who subscribed. I think we're into this time around last year, I was ending with 200 and something subscribers, and I'm nearly at 1.2k. It's just insane. I wanted to put so much work into this channel and dedication, and the fact that my last 3 videos of my reactions to the 60th anniversary specials have done incredibly well for me on this channel is insane. I don't want to make it all about Doctor Who. It's just now a little niche that I found. I want to keep doing some Harry Potter stuff, and then I want to do other things as well. I might even react next year to the new Avatar. As far as reactions going forward for the new series of Doctor Who, I will react to the first one, his very first new episode of the new season. I probably will not react to all of them because I feel like if it becomes too much like, oh, I've got to react to it because I've got to do it for my channel, I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm not going to enjoy doing it. And I want to keep some episodes for myself just to sit and relax and enjoy and not have to think about the editing process, because those 60th anniversary episodes were great. Don't get me wrong, I loved doing it and I love seeing you guys have such a great response. But they take ages to do. That's just to sit and watch an episode for an hour and remember you're on a camera is enough. And then, I'm not lying, they took about 2 to 4 hours each to edit, which I know you think is insane because it's only an hour episode, but you have to cut the episode down. You have to keep it flowing. You have to make sure you don't miss any important bits out. You want to keep including bits, but then you have to cut it down, and then copyright issues. So I don't want to do it for all of the next season because that would be far too much. So I might, like I said, I will do the first episode, maybe a double parter if they do one, and I'll probably will definitely be reacting to the Beatles episode for you guys, and I will do the final episode as well. But I do appreciate, which is why I'm just giving you guys this review, because as I said, it was around Christmas time. I don't want to sit in front of the TV and like go with my family. By the way, guys, I'm filming this and you have to be quiet because I don't want to do that. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what next year has in store for me on this platform. I've very much enjoyed my year. It's been an incredible year, and we'll see how it goes. Like, I've got so much coming up next year that I can't wait to tell you about. And yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.